This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Hey, so I saw a couple of things online and it's been on an adding pile of things, and it's just something that I want to rant about. So forgive me if this is not my most well put together argument or video, but I am so tired of the Nick Chubb getting cut panic clickbait articles being written out there. I get it. Nick Chubb's a big name. People care about if he's going to be on the team or not. And making it seem like he's a candidate to be cut is something that people are going to click on. It's February. We're all trying to do football content. Trust me, I understand it. I understand where it comes from. But this is a thing that happens in the off season, and it drives me crazy every time it happens. Somebody writes something in an article, and then 5 other articles pick up what that person wrote as if it's a report. And they make it seem like to their audience that they're reporting that the Browns are considering cutting Nick Chubb, when what they're actually reporting is that somebody unaffiliated with the Browns wrote an article where he said the Browns should consider cutting Nick Chubb, and that's what they're using as their source for the whole article. The Browns are not going to cut Nick Chubb. I don't think that that's really going to be something that's on the range of things to happen. I know that there are some people who are cap experts who think that that's something that the Browns should do. And look, from an on-paper standpoint, it makes sense on some level because the Browns would save about $11 million in cap space if they cut Nick Chubb. That is true. But what I think the on-paper argument fails to grasp at times is that cutting Nick Chubb is not just a matter of saving $11 million. And football is not just a matter of dollars and cents. It's a people business, and it's a people game. And if you cut Nick Chubb, you're going to do $11 million more worth of damage to this team than what you would save in the cap, because Nick Chubb is not just beloved by his teammates because he's a good person. Nick Chubb is beloved by his teammates because he's a really good player. And you're a Cleveland Browns team that's trying to convince everybody that you're trying to be serious about getting into the championship picture. And cutting Nick Chubb doesn't seem like something that is serious to that picture. There are people on this team in important places that don't want Nick Chubb gone, that would rather bet on Nick Chubb's ability to come back from an injury and play well. It just doesn't make very much sense. Yes, you could save $11 million. And look, we do the same thing with hypothetical cap space that we do with draft picks, right? We always overvalue cap space. We always overvalue draft picks that we haven't used yet. But I want to ask you a question. If you cut Nick Chubb, are you going to be able to sign somebody who's better than Nick Chubb or as good as Nick Chubb for $11 million? I think Nick Chubb has a better chance of being Nick Chubb after this injury and coming back from it than anybody that you sign has the possibility of returning the value of him. Like, where is it worth it to get that $11 million? You're not going to use it on tackle because you're already spending $20 million at the tackle position, and then on both tackle positions, right and left. So you're not going to use that money to spend on a tackle. What are you going to get? A backup tight end? You can't get a wide receiver for $11 million. Wide receivers go for $25 to $30 million. And at the end of the day, we're talking about $11 million. Deshaun Watson's restructure alone is probably going to save you $30 million. Denzel Ward's restructure alone will probably save you about $16 million. Myles Garrett restructure will save you about $5 to $8 million. So what are we really doing if you cut Nick Chubb? it doesn't really make that much functional sense. It's a thing that's out because people love to spread panic and fearmonger about what they think the Browns are going to do. But Browns aren't going to cut Nick Chubb, more than likely, because cutting Nick Chubb would be stupid. Yeah, the Browns want cap space, but they want cap space to be a better team. And they're not a better team if they get more cap space by getting rid of one of their best players, especially a player whose peak production cannot be replaced by anything on the market. So what are we really doing? Deshaun Watson is not at a point of reliability to where you can just roll with it, right? Like, oh, Deshaun's going to be able to carry the offense. We don't know that. We don't even know if he can stay healthy. They're probably going to stick with Nick Chubb. There's been no indications by Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski that they indicate that they want to move off of Nick Chubb. They don't. Now, is his contract expensive for a running back? Sure. But let's keep it real. Like, this is the one thing I hate about running back conversations when it comes to how much money they're getting paid. Oh my God. The Browns have to do something. Nick Chubb is owed $15.8 million on the salary cap. The Browns have to do something because that's just so much money for Nick Chubb to be owed. So $15.8 million is what he's set to hit the cap for. That's his average per year. Do you realize how little $15.8 million is to a team in the salary cap? Do you realize that Hunter Renfrow is set to make more money than Nick Chubb is? That Jesse Bates, Orlando Brown Jr., Grady Jarrett, TJ Hawkinson, all more expensive than Nick Chubb. We talk about Nick Chubb as if he's just a running back. It's one of the most irritating things about the conversation. Yeah, he's a 28-year-old running back. That's the position he plays. But let's also be honest about the caliber of running back that Nick Chubb is before we write all of these articles. Don't compare him to Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is not the type of running back that Nick Chubb has been. He's never been in the same realm as running back as Nick Chubb has been. Nick Chubb is in the class of running backs that Ezekiel Elliott was in, that Derrick Henry was in, that all of those guys who got second contracts and got extensions and all of this stuff with their team are in. They're franchise players. The Browns are not going to give up on a franchise player when they're trying to win it all unless they find out that he can't play again. It's just one of these silly season topics that really irks me. Yes, there's an argument for the Browns to cut Nick Chubb. They could save $11 million, but they don't have to cut Nick Chubb. They don't have to do that to get under the cap. Honestly, they're like two restructures away from having $30 million in cap space. Cutting Nick Chubb would be extra. It doesn't make sense. What's more likely to happen is that they just let the contract sit at the current value, or they give him an extension. I think either one is fine, but I don't know about y'all. And maybe I'm just ranting, but I am so tired of all of these. Oh my God, is Nick Chubb going to get cut? Is Nick Chubb on the bubble? Is he on the all bubble team? Is he going to be cut? This, that. This is how they're going to have to clear up space. They got to get rid of Nick Chubb to clear up. I'm tired of all these stupid articles because it's not reflective of the reality of the situation. The Browns don't need to clear up space by cutting Nick Chubb. Yeah, they have negative cap space right now. They'll have positive cap space by the start of free agency. They'll be able to bring in guys. It's just annoying at this point for me. Nick Chubb's a really good player. The Browns know he's a really good player, and the Browns are a team that's trying to win now. Maybe if the Browns were trying to rebuild, maybe if they were trying to get off of Deshaun's contract or something like that, they would do and make this move to free up some money. But this doesn't make sense for where the Browns are at. This doesn't make sense for the caliber of player that Nick Chubb has been. Sure, he's 28. But he's come back from a knee injury before. He's Nick Chubb. You expect him to come back from a knee injury. And he's probably going to be a player at a high level. And honestly, did this season not teach us the importance of Nick Chubb? Like, if you walked out there and thought you could just put anybody at running back after this season where you saw the Browns have one of the worst run games in the NFL at a certain point, then I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with that. But yeah, I'm just personally tired of all the Nick Chubb getting cut, fear going on, and all the people panicking that they think Nick Chubb's going to get cut, and all the people reacting as if the Browns already did it when they aren't going to do it. It's just one of the sillier all-season topics to me. I saw a couple articles back to back, and it just was something I wanted to talk about. But thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.